Hello and welcome back. This is Applications to Computers class, and this is week 3. During the time when we do not have the chance to have offline classes, we need to catch up through online classes. So this is now week 3, and the topics are Chapter 3, working with slides. So we work with slides, we divide the presentation into sections, guyog, in Korean guyog, and then rearrange slides in the slide sorter view, and also sections we can rearrange, then applying themes, changing the slide's background, and formatting text placeholders. Also, chapter 4 I plan to finish this week. So from March 30 to April 1 we have 2 classes normally, and that's why we can also continue. So working with slide texts, changing the alignment, spacing, size and look of the text, correcting and size text while entering it, check spelling and choose the best wording, and find and replace text and fonts, and also add additional text boxes. I'm not sure how far we can go, but the last topic would be chapter 5, adding simple visual enhancements, inserting pictures and clip art images, creating diagrams, plot charts, and draw shapes and transitions. So how far we can go, I don't know, but let's see what we can do. The main issue is that we can finish, or we have to finish, with chapter 3 and chapter 4.
Chapter 3 again, and dividing presentations into sections is the first. That is, the reason why you would divide a presentation into sections is for much better readability and organization. And you can set up this by using the here basically so let me show you. Okay, Bogi and Kayo, and here you add it. So guyog chuga. Okay, then I would like to ask you to close this presentation by Control W. You don't need to save it. Same this one here, also by Control W. You don't need to save it. And then let's open up Community A. This time, what we do is on the Home tab in the Slides group, click the suction button, so guyog, and here you have an add section, so guyog chuga in Korean, and you get an untitled section title before slide 1. That's it. So switch to slide sorter view, and then here look at the slides so that all of the 13 you can get on your display, and click number 4, and then here again add section. And now let's name it also. 구역 이름 바꾸기. And this time we use process as name. still we have one to rename, and here it should be introduction. So basically now we are done with two of them. If you collapse it, you see you have here 3 slides and here. So after collapsing it, you have 3 slides here and 10 slides in the process. Once you expand them, you see all the slides also. And if you turn back to normal view, obviously you can do the same. And you got 3 introduction and 10 process slides. Good. Now that you created these sections, so 구역, you can also rearrange the slides and sections. And this time, please open up Community B. And you see here perhaps more sections than before, right? And let's click slide 2. And then drag the selected slide downward until it sits between the process section, title, and slide 4. So what happened? That slide 2 and slide 3 were exchanged with each other. To the left of introduction, in the first section title, click the black collapse section arrow. And then repeat this step also for process. So now let's change the view because you don't see the other sections anymore. And that's why we changed to slide sorter view, göra slide. See if we can see all of them now. Otherwise, let's take a look and let's make it 50%. And now that we have 50%, we can open up everything. So we see each of the sections. And in the selling section, then let's click slide 7 and drag it to the left until it sits on the left of 5. So now it became number 5, and you see every other slide was moved by 1. Then right click the planning section title and I click move section up. 구역을 위로 이동. So now it's above selling, and you can choose the more normal view again. And you see one thing, that if you take introduction and the two first sections could be easily combined, because this is just process and introduction. So remove the second section by clicking the process title and 구역 삭제. And this is it. And now you're done. Of course, you can also move the slides between the sections. So let's take a look of that too. So basically now it's number 10 here, and I can move it to planning any time, no problem. You see it. So that's it. And moving up, down, it works. So here you go, moving up, down, and then deleting this, and that's it. Good. The next thing what we do is applying themes. So when you create a presentation based on a template, the presentation includes a theme, combination of colors, and fonts and formatting graphics and other elements. Yep. So for that, please open up Landscaping A. And also Company Meeting, and also Community C. So you need 3 presentations for the coming task. And on slide 1, opening up Landscaping A, slide 1, click the slide title. And the slide has a white background with black text and Calibri font. You see that. Now in the Design tab in the Themes group, so Design tab, Thema, Themes group, click the More button. And you can select any of them. Let's say this one here first, and this is what happens. But if you change to the ion, (3D), this is the ion. Then you get different text, different size, etc., etc. So Century Gothic and 72 now is the size. Good. On the View tab in the Window group, switch Window button and Company Meeting we have to change. Company Meeting. And then take the slice thumbnail to switch the design to a bright blue background. So which one is exactly it's that slice? We've just found it. Great. And good color contrast is always important for any presentation, but especially for those that will be delivered on screen. Okay, so therefore in the Design tab in the Variants, then what you do is you can select many more here, and you have the orange variant in the right end up of the group. Okay, now this time, let's use themes in a presentation that has been divided into sections. So again, we change, but this time we change to Community C. And you see here the section and another section also. So let's try to use different designs. Okay, so still with slide 1 selected, display the themes, gallery, and design. And here you can find the retrospect. So retrospect is going to be which one? Okay, 추억. Good. Now that you changed, then slide 1 selected, we did, and then click the planning section title. And here you change to a variant, the second variant you take. And then click the selling section. Title again. And then apply the third variant. And then click the executing title and take the fourth variant. And now let's take the slide sorter view again, slide boogie. And you see the differences among each of your sections. Okay, we can also change the slide background. And for that, let's see what we can do. So design with color. Design with color. And here you have in the format background pane, so design and background 소식. In this format background pane, you have here fill, 저기, and then effects and picture. So the most important is now the 채우기. Let's say gradation 채우기. And then adjacent to color, click the color button to display the menu. Okay. In the top row of the theme color palette, click the 8 swatch. Purple accent 4, which instantly changes the background of slide 1. Now let's refine the gradient of this slide background by changing its shape, direction, and color. In the format background pane, then type, then click the type arrow. 방향. And let's take this time rightmost thumbnail, so top left. Corner. top left corner. Okay. And in the gradient stops area, click the second handle on the slider, stop 2 of 4, and to the right, click remove gradient stop button. So we removed remove gradient stop button, and then drag the middle handle stop 2 of 3 into the position of 70%. Okay, then let's fill background of all slides with texture. 그림 또는 질감 채우기. Then we have a lot of options. And here are the options, what we can select. And click water droplets. In the lower left corner of the format background pane, click apply to all, 모두 적용. Then close the pane, and that was your task now. Okay, so we have these colors also, and now formatting text placeholders is kind of important. So let's take that next step, and that's landscaping B. And we can close all the other files, no need for them. So landscaping B is what we need. Okay, then display number 3 slide. And click the slide title to select the placeholder for editing as indicated by the cursor and dash. So now it's selected. Point the border of the placeholder. And now you can manipulate it. But all I need is just to have a selection. And in the format tool tab, tab, in the shape styles group, click the gallery, more, display, and shape style gallery shows up. Click the 5th thumbnail in the 2nd row. 녹색 강조사, that's correct. Okay, and then click the 5th thumbnail in the 2nd row. you actually filled the placeholder with a light aqua color. And in the shape style group, shape fill, 도형 채우기. And here you see dark red column. That's it. And darker 25%. This is it. And click the shape fill button again. And check the gradation. And in the dark variations, please click the second thumbnail in the third row. And that's linear up or 성형 위쪽. Okay, in the shape style group, click shape outline. 윤곽선. And then in the theme colors palette, click the second swatch in the dark teal column. So which row again? Lighter 60%. That's it. And then shape outline again. And then to the weight. And let's take 3 points. And in the shape style group, still shape effect. And let's take the glow down. Glow variations and teal 18. And accent 5. This is it. Now let's click any area of the slide. And you have just created a beautiful title for your presentation. Now this is done, and that's why we can move on to chapter 4 as well. Okay, and this time let's continue with chapter 4, work with slide text. We change the alignment and spacing size and look of the text. Then we also correct and size text while entering, and we check spelling and choose the best wording. Find and replace the text and fonts, and then add text boxes. So these things we have to do by ourselves. Let's do it. And we can change the folder also to chapter 4. Okay, we have here a list. And for that, first of all, we can take the file with the file name trips A. And before we continue, let's talk about lists. So here you have these lists. These are bullet points in Korean. You would call them 글머리 기호. Then alignment, you have to think of and for the alignment here text 맞춤, so 맞춤 would be that. Also and here you can do it. So 목록 수준 놀림 or 느림. Then align text into the middle or left or right side. So 아래쪽, sorry. So middle, then down and center, or also if you'd like to, then let's take this here. So here, 왼쪽 맞춤, 오른쪽 맞춤, and 가운데 맞춤. So here it works also with your keyboard. So originally, of course, Control L would be for the left hand, which we have right now. Then the center would be Control E, and the right hand side would be Control L. Let's put back by Control L, so Leslie, and not R as Roland, and not E as center. So let's put it back by Control Leslie, where it was. And then we also can see the align text vertically at the top and middle or bottom. This is what we talked about before. So this is the other one, the other way. And we have also line spacing. This is it, 줄 간격. And originally we have here 1, but if you'd like to, you can change it to 1.5. Also, here you are. And we also have paragraph spacing. So line spacing. The before and after again. So here you are. These are here. What you need to do, what you need to work with. And then we have here font. So 글꼴 and the size itself to change 글꼴 크기. Okay, so how can you change the size of the text? Well, there are a few options. One of them is to make it with Control and. Larger and smaller. I don't know why I don't get it now. Problem was Control Shift and larger and smaller. So Control Shift, and also with another function I don't find now. Just a second, I will find. Function doesn't work here. What I wanted to check is Control and the hard bracket, but it doesn't work. So what works is Control Shift and smaller or larger should work. Let's check it again. Yeah, smaller, larger, but nothing else works. So let's keep that part. And if you would like to make the style, then here bold, italic, and underlined. So bold, italic, and underlined. But the krimja, so text krimja, you have to do by yourself. Okay, certainly you can change the color of the text as well. And you can change the case. Also, this way or 각 단어를 대문자로 시작. And then character spacing is also possible. So here you have 기타, and then you make it as big as you want. Then this is what happens. Okay, so let's start with strip A, what I mentioned, but let's also delete every kind of changes from here. So let's simply restart with it. And to change this file again, because the file was changed and saved in that way, and now I need the original file. So let's go to slide 3, and there in the 4th bullet point, select the buyer manual. So buyer manual, and here you notice that mini toolbar jumps out, and in the mini toolbar click italic. You can alternatively use Ctrl I, as you know. Then change to slide number 4, drag diagonally across the 4 bullet lines. And they are now selected, and ignore the mini toolbar this time. And in the home tab in the font, change the font color to red. Also on slide 5, click anywhere in the bulleted list, and then in editing group, the select button and select all. 선택, 모두 선택. And in the font we have right now the size 24, but we would like to have the size 44. So this is what you have as a result. And then in the font group, you can go back and clear all formatting button. And that's it. And the font size goes back to 24. Okay, let's do it again. And now I show you another option with Control and Spacebar to delete all the formatting. So Control and Space Bar. Okay, then 9, and select both bullet points. And click the bullet arrow to display. And in the gallery, click None. Apps2. And with both paragraphs still selected, on the Home tab in the Paragraph dialog box, launcher the Open Paragraph box. So dialog. And in the general area, change the alignment setting to centered. Counter. In the spacing area, enter 0 for the before box, and then increase the after setting to 24. So before is 0 and here 24. And then change the line spacing by exactly so by exactly Kojang, and here this is going to be 30. And then click OK. Notice that the paragraphs are now centered with space between, right? And finally, let's make the text in a couple of paragraphs look more balanced by inserting a few line breaks. In the first paragraph, click the left of the word only and press Shift Enter. And repeat the step 15, so this step again, to insert another line break to the left of that. And then in the second paragraph, you do it to the 2 and to the 4. So this is your final result now, and you can close it again without saving it. Correcting and sizing text while entering is also possible. So if you don't want an entry to be corrected, click the undo button on the quick access toolbar when autocorrect makes any change. Good, then you need to open Community Service A this time. And then let's move on and let's display slide 2. And being careful for the purpose of this exercise to include the misspelling, enter setup, the team. So misspelling, okay? Press enter and then gather, add n, and you see it's changed, analyze data. Automatically changed to end, and normally this is supposed to change also to team, but it didn't because we are set into Korean language. And the was also changed, so and the are changed. So PowerPoint cannot detect that you have used an incorrect form of a word, such as set and up or set up in one word. And now let's also suppose that we often misspell the word assign. So not ASSIGN, but ASSINE. And then for that, let's display the backstage view first, then option, and here we need to find the proofing and here continue with autocorrect option area, and we add the word what we do wrong first with the correct word itself, assign, and we add it, so 추가하기, and we close it. And still in slide 2, let's type ASSINE, and you see that was different and corrected by the computer. But you have to define first what you do many times wrong. Now also let's select here slide 1 again, and in the subtitle placeholder please add the word committee, and select the 3 words and Ctrl+C that, and we go back to File, Option and Proofing again. And once again the autocorrect options. And what we do is we use an abbreviation for the word. And then in slide 3, click the left of responsibilities, and then let's enter CSC. And you see just by typing CSC you got the Community Service Committee. Okay, and the book says let's experiment with the autofit, and then let's display slide 1. And at the right end of the title, and notice that here you have a 44 size. Then type in this, a colon, and enter, and planning, selling, and executing. A project. But you see that here the autofit has started to work and jump in for you, because if you don't do it, then this is what happens. Now let's go and select slide 8. And the font size here is 28 now. And let's enter the following text. How do we know if we are successful? Now you realized at the same time when you started to type, the size became 26 instead of 28. So if I say stop it, then you see that the text is already outside, almost outside of the slide itself. Now this cannot be read very easily, so there is another chance what to do, is that you click the two columns. So click to change the two columns to get your low Pyongyang, and this is what you get. Suddenly it is looking better because basically the texts are separated. Okay, the next task, what we have to do is checking spelling and choosing the best wording. Let's open up another file. This time we work with Community Service B. And let's select slide 2 and click the information. And if you click by the right hand side, you see immediately it's information. Let's change it to information, and now let's display slide 7. And here you have a few other problems, so select Médecins Sans Frontières, and the review tab in the language group, Gomto, here you can change this language to French. So I don't remember exactly where I can do it. Set proofing language. Set proofing language. Language and set proofing language. Here you go. To French. Of course, you have to find French for you. That for me might be more difficult. And French France. France, Canada, France. Okay. Let's say 확인. And the same goes for the frontiers. So French, and you see there is no more problem. Okay, let's click the corner of the slide and let's press home. You are on slide number 1 again. And in the review tab on the proofing group, click again spell button, and you see the problems now. You can also use the F7. So let's get back again, and here let's close it, and F7 would be the spell check. Okay, what you have to do here is the following. Click the pursue for you and click change. And here you have CSCOM, which you can add to the dictionary, so 추가. And then here you have a double T, the, so 삭제. And then now you have an employees here, so employees, which you have to change again. And then here, successful, you have to change again. And you are good to go. Okay, on slide number 1, select the executing again. So only the word, don't select the space. And then here you have a thesaurus. This is it. And here you can find different words for executing itself. Now the same way you can do with Shift F7. So that would be Shift F7 to get the thesaurus and to get synonyms. Okay, and below performing, point to completing. And there is an arrow that comes out. And then click here, Sabib, insert. And now you can close the thesaurus. And you are ready with this file. Let's stop here. The service C this time. And in the Home tab again, editing group. You can click the replace. So Control H as you see. And in the find what the box, enter department. And we change to unit. Okay, so this is it. To unit. And you can also select match case. 대 소문장 구분. And then here, let's try find next. And here we can say 바꾸기 or change. And then again, we can find the next one and 모두 바꾸기 also possible. And here, normally 9 were changed for you. If you did everything correct, then you can close the replace completely. And let's click a blank area and also move back to slide 1 by the home button. And in the font box, you see this is Calibri and 제목, so heading. And if you check then slide 2, you also realize that is here Times New Roman. So click the corner of the slide. And again, Home tab, editing and replace arrow, and now replace font. Google 바꾸기. And here you have the replace list, 현재 글꼴. And we have a Times New Roman. And obviously with Calibri. So let's click Calibri. and click 바꾸기. You see what happened? All the slides actually changed their fonts into Calibri, so we can check it here as well, Calibri and Calibri. That's it. We can close this file as well. No more necessity to work with it. We also can add text boxes. Sometimes it's really useful and sometimes it's necessary. And for that, let's see what we have to do and what we have to work with. The file what we have to open is strips B. What we can format here is fill and line, change the box color, then also effects, so different effects you can do, shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges, etc., and size properties, and text fill and outline, and also text effects, and also text box. Okay, so select then slide number 5, please. And on the Insert tab in the text group, so Sabib and text Sangja, you can now take the text box and then point below the placeholder for the bulleted list. Okay, enter critical to get things off. Critical to get things off to a good start. What you notice at the same time is that the width of the text box is increases along with the text how you type to accommodate the size of your text what you type in. It would even expand beyond the border of the slide if necessary. Now you can also rotate this text border, text here. So how you do that, you see here this, and you can rotate it by 90 degree or even 180 degree, etc., etc. So completely like a circle. So let's do it 90 degree. And then drag this box to the right when all the 4 arrows show up. So now it's done. And then on the Format Tool tab, click the Shape Style. Dialog box launcher. And here you have a few things that you can work with. Sun is the line itself, and the solid line is number 2. So shield sun. And you can change the color to orange, what happened now here. And the transparency to 0%. And width is 0.75%. And you can click the color here to change this. The book says take red accent 3. So Bakang Kongjo San. And display the red border, you have to click away from it to deselect the text box. Then also select slide 6. And in the View tab in the Show group, select the ruler to be checked. Normally, as I said, I work with the ruler, so I don't need to 눈금자. And here, on the Insert tab in the Text group, click the Text box button. And this time, on the left of the area below the bulleted list, drag approximately 5 centimeter to the right and 1.5 downwards. So 1.5 would be like this, and 5 centimeter would be like something like this, I think. Let's take a look at it. Okay, this is now 10, this is now 5, and this is now 1.5. Okay, good. Now we can type. The buyer manual has important information about the minimum requirements. So what happened this time, the width itself remained and the size downwards became larger and larger. So click the border of the text box to select for manipulation again. And then drag the solid border to align the text in the box with the bulleted list. So we need 2 lines, and also here we take another movement. Okay. Let's see if it's now with the bulleted list. Yep. And this is it. Completed. Task is done. Okay, we finished here with chapter 4 as well. Thank you very much for your attention, and you can continue with chapter 5.